Welcome back to Off the Record. You ever notice how in Pattaya, every man's story starts the same? She changed. She stopped calling. She ain't the same girl I met. But what if she didn't change first? What if you did? See, this city doesn't create fake women. It just exposes real behavior. When your energy shifts, hers does too. And most men out here don't realize it because they're too busy blaming her for reacting to the version of them that doesn't exist anymore. Tonight we're breaking down the truth about women in Pattaya, the patterns, the psychology, and why so many men fall in love with the reflection instead of the reality. Because here, she only changes when you do. When the fantasy feels real. Let's be honest, it all starts beautiful. She laughs at your jokes. She tells you you're handsome. You feel wanted again. For a lot of men, that kind of attention hits harder than any drink ever could. You go from invisible to important overnight. Back home, nobody cared if you came or went. Out here, someone's smiling every time you walk in. It's easy to fall for it. It's not even about sex. It's about feeling seen. That's the high men chase in Pattaya. It's dopamine, validation, comfort, all wrapped in one body, and a smile that feels real when you've been lonely too long. I knew a dude from Chicago, 52, retired early, said he came out here to relax. Within a week he had a girl. Within a month he was talking marriage. Said she was different, said she was real. You could hear it in his voice, that mix of confidence and hope. He was in deep before he even realized it. But that's the thing about Pattaya. When the fantasy feels real, it's not because she's lying. It's because you need to believe it's true. She's not selling a dream. You're buying it willingly. See, loneliness changes how a man sees people. When you've gone years without feeling wanted, 1 week of attention feels like destiny. And before you know it, you start building castles on sand, fast, fragile, and doomed to collapse. That's how it starts. She didn't change. You did. You went from observer to believer, and that's when Pattaya's illusion starts working. The role you start playing after the fantasy settles, something changes. You start playing a role. You go from being yourself to being who you think she wants you to be. At first it's harmless. You pay for dinner, buy her a few things, help her out here and there. But slowly that becomes your identity. You're not Mike anymore. You're the guy who takes care of her. You don't even notice it happening until she starts expecting it. The truth is, most men in Pattaya don't fall in love with women. They fall in love with feeling needed. After years of being ignored, that attention feels like oxygen. You'll do anything to keep it, so you start performing. You play the protector, the good man, the different foreigner. You tell yourself, I'm not like the rest of these guys. But that's the same line every man says before he realizes he's just part of the rotation. One guy told me once, man, I'm not paying her, I'm just helping her. And I told him, bro, it's not about the money, it's about what you're buying emotionally. He didn't get it then, but he did later. When the calls stopped coming, the moment his wallet closed. You see, the moment you start doing things just to prove you're valuable, you've already lost your value. Because now it's not her seeing your worth. It's you begging her to validate it. That's the quiet truth nobody wants to admit. Out here, love isn't always fake, but it's always conditional. And when you start performing for affection, you stop being a man and start being a product. You thought you were giving her the world, but what you were really doing was trading pieces of yourself just to feel needed again. The exchange, money, emotion, and motives. Out here, money and emotion dance together like smoke and air. You can't separate them. Most men think they can, but they can't. Because in Pattaya, affection and transaction share the same stage. Let's be real. Not every woman's out here running game. Some are just trying to survive. They play the role that keeps food on the table. And a lot of men mistake that survival instinct for manipulation. See, when she smiles at you, she might mean it. In that moment, it's real. But what you see as love, she sees as stability. And what you call generosity, she calls security. That's not evil, that's life. The mistake most men make is thinking they can buy the same kind of love they couldn't earn back home. But love here moves different. You're not buying her body, you're renting her attention. And if you treat that attention like affection, you'll confuse comfort for connection. I knew a brother from London, met a girl working in a bar off LK Metro. He started paying her rent, gave her an allowance, called it love, said she'd never have to work again. 3 months later, he found out she was still going out, told me she betrayed me. But what he didn't see was that he changed the deal, not her. When he gave money, she gave time. When he wanted exclusivity, she wanted freedom. Two different currencies, both thinking they were paying in love. Money can't buy emotion, but it can buy peace for a while. It can buy silence, comfort, even pretend loyalty. But real connection, that's something money can't negotiate. And most men don't want connection. They just want to feel safe again. That's why Pattaya keeps running on this same energy. Men buy moments, women sell stability, and somewhere in the middle, they both start confusing the trade for love. So when you ask why she changed, maybe she didn't. Maybe you both just stopped pretending the exchange was anything more than what it really was. When you start changing, there comes a moment in every man's story out here when the shift happens. You stop chasing, stop spending, stop proving. You start seeing things different. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's maturity, and maybe it's just fatigue. But the moment your rhythm changes, her dance changes too. See, when you evolve, people start reacting to the new version of you. And if your connection was built on who you were, they'll struggle with who you've become. At first, it's subtle. She texts a little slower. She's busy more often. The laughs don't sound the same. Then one day you realize, the woman who once looked at you like you were her world now looks at you like you're in her way. But here's the truth most men don't want to face. She didn't change. She just stopped pretending once your energy stopped feeding her needs. Because energy is the currency in Pattaya, not just money. You might think you're the same guy, but energy never lies. The man who once sought validation is now content in silence. The man who needed company is now fine being alone. And she feels that more deep. That shift threatens her comfort because she was never addicted to you. She was addicted to how you made her feel about herself. That's the part men miss. Sometimes the love wasn't real. It was reciprocal energy. You were giving attention, and she was reflecting it. Once you pull back, the reflection fades. I had a friend, good dude from New York. Met a girl in Pattaya, swore she was loyal, treated her right, set her up with a little business, took care of her. But once he stopped visiting the bar every night, stopped spending like before, she drifted. And he said, man, she changed. I told him, nah, bro, you did. You became what she wasn't built to match. When a man starts growing in silence, he threatens everyone who knew him in chaos. And out here, that's when people vanish. She didn't fall out of love, she fell out of alignment. Because growth demands honesty, and honesty exposes comfort. So when she pulls away, don't chase. When her energy shifts, don't panic. Sometimes God removes what can't follow where you're going. The reflection. You ever notice that every woman you meet reflects something back at you? Your patience, your pride, your insecurities, all of it. Out here, she becomes your mirror. And sometimes the hardest thing to face is seeing yourself through her eyes. When you were insecure, she made you feel strong. When you were lonely, she made you feel wanted. But when you started healing, when you stopped needing her validation, she felt the difference. That's why some women pull away when you grow. They were never in love with you. They were in love with who they got to be when you were broken. Don't hate her for it. Understand it. Because every woman, whether she stays or leaves, teaches you something about the season you were in. Some show you love, some show you lust. But the real ones, they show you yourself. The girl who drained you taught you boundaries. The one who lied taught you awareness. The one who left taught you strength. And the one who stayed taught you balance. They all played their part. Every reflection helped you grow, even the ones that hurt. So when you say, she changed, look a little closer. Maybe she just mirrored the man you were at that time, and now that you've changed, she's simply showing you what no longer fits. Growth doesn't always mean losing people. Sometimes it just means outgrowing reflections. The lesson. Every man who comes to Pattaya eventually learns this lesson. You don't just meet women here. You meet yourself. The women, the moments, the memories, they're all mirrors. They show you who you were, who you are, and who you're trying to become. Some reflections you'll want to forget. Others you'll wish you could hold on to forever. But all of them are lessons. See, when you stop blaming her for changing and start asking why you did, that's when growth starts. That's when peace begins, because maybe she didn't betray you. Maybe she just finished teaching you the chapter you were meant to learn from her. Don't hate the reflection, thank it, because without it, you'd still be lost in your own illusion. In the end, that's what this city teaches you, that love, like life, is temporary, but wisdom, that stays. If this one hit home, like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts below. This is Off the Record, real talk, no filters, just truth.